So hey guys, so I've decided to do some more fan film reviews. So starting with a rather recent fan film, or a fan film that was recently made its way onto YouTube, which is the Avenging Spider-Man. Now this is the reboot to Action Inc.'s Spider-Man fan films, because they had 3 other Spider-Man fan films, not in the same universe. Not part of the same series, but the first fan film they had was called Ultimate Spider-Man. It was kind of terrible. They've even admitted it's kind of terrible. I mean, I think what really sunk it was Rhino's costume. But, yeah. But, so they immediately rebooted. And we got Dawn of Spider-Man, which was okay. I thought that was pretty good. Then there was a sequel called Spider-Man 2, Age of Darkness. And I believe they were planning a Spider-Man 3, but that was canceled. Now, I think there was a guy named Mikey who played Spider-Man in the Ultimate Spider-Man, not to be confused with Piggy Inc.'s Ultimate Spider-Man. And he also played him in, whatchamacallit, not just Piggy Inc. Spider-Man. Oh, and, yeah, I mean, he didn't play him in Piggy Inc. Spider-Man, I'm so silly. No, he played him in Ultimate Spider-Man, and then also Dawn of Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, Age of Darkness. So after Spider-Man 2, Age of Darkness, they did sort of a prequel slash, depends how you look at it. It's sort of a prequel, sort of, I can't tell if it's really a prequel or a midquel, but it was a series called Spider-Man Untold. That was very short-lived. So then they decide, you know what, we'll do a third series. And that was called, that's how the Avenging Spider-Man was born. Now, they are actually doing a fan series, which is going to be in another universe this fall. It's called the Spider-Man Saga. But, yeah, so getting back to the event, and that will not be, yeah, that won't have Costa. But what happened in this fan film, to be exact, because Costa plays Spider-Man in this. So, what happens in this fan film, getting into the plot, this was highly anticipated. So, getting into the plot, is they pretty much do the origin of Spider-Man all over again, as you may have expected. There's also a character in here named Alex Johnson. He's not in the comics. He's an original character they came up with, and the actor who played Alex actually played in Ultimate Spider-Man. He played Electro in the Spider-Man in the Dawn of Spider-Man series, which Dawn of Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2: Age of Darkness, and Spider-Man Untold. He played Bullseye. Well, now he plays. Now he's done playing villains. Now he plays a supporting character named Alex Johnson. So, Alex Johnson and Peter, they're best friends. Sort of best friends, yeah. Harry is not in this. We get Eddie Brock instead. Now, Eddie Brock is very much like the Ultimate version of Eddie Brock. And Gwen Stacy is also in it. So, overall, I thought it was a pretty good fan film. Here's my thought. Ultimate Spider-Man was bad. I'll admit that. And they've admitted that themselves, that it's bad. I can forgive it because it was their first one. Dawn of Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and the Spider-Man Untold series were all decent. They weren't great, but they were decent, and they were better than Ultimate Spider-Man. This is even better. This is the best one they've done so far. Still needs some improvements, but overall it was pretty good. So first of all, one thing I really liked was Costa. Costa really, I liked Costa. I think he was the best Spider-Man so far. I really think he played a relatable kid pretty well. But what I didn't like, so what happens is, so we get Eddie Brock in this. In the fan film, we get Eddie, the whole conflict of it is that Eddie Brock tells Peter, oh, our fathers worked on this cure for cancer, like in the Ultimate Comics, which happens to be the symbiote. But he needs a spider to create this cure. So, well, Peter and Alex are examining the spider. Peter decides to play with the spider. It bites him, and, you know, he gets powers. One thing, though, that I did not like is that Uncle Ben didn't die. That was one thing I didn't like. Uncle Ben really didn't die. You didn't see Uncle Ben. You didn't see Aunt May. We know Peter, they mention Aunt May and Uncle Ben at multiple times in the movie. But Uncle Ben didn't die. Now, I know they want to, you know, keep it strict. I know they want to probably make it original. Because there are too many fan films out there. There are too many Spider-Man fan films out there where the plot is just a ripoff of the Spider-Man movies. And I hate that. I just hate how people are too lazy to do the, you know, to just come up with their own plot. Or go with a straightforward story from the comics. But, yeah, this didn't really do that, and that's one thing I really liked. It went with a straightforward plot, but it didn't take, it took what it needed, it took only, like minuscule, like, you know, little chunks from the movies, like, where, like in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, where, he keeps taking off his glasses, and where he learned, you know, the scene where he takes off his shirt, he learns he has bigger muscles, he takes off his glasses, and his eyesight, he realizes he doesn't need glasses anymore because the spider bite improved his eyesight. So yeah, stuff like that. But pretty much the whole thing in the comics that inspires Peter to become Spider-Man is the fact that Uncle Ben dies. Now, unfortunately, Uncle Ben does not die in this. All that happens is what inspires him to become Spider-Man is he reads a letter from his dad, and he's like, cool, I should be a superhero now. So I did not like that. I didn't think that was really, you know, the greatest motivation. And I know it's been done millions and millions of times before where Uncle Ben dies, but I feel it's essential. If you're going to do the origin again, you don't have to do the origin, but if you're going to, I feel it's essential to kill off Uncle Ben. And obviously I'm getting into spoilers. So when I edit this, I'll put a spoiler warning at the beginning, or I'll just put it in the title. But so yeah, so Alex Johnson, I really liked Alex Johnson. I thought he was a funny character. I thought he understood Peter pretty well. Peter, you know, he could never. He was the one person that understood all the dumb excuses Peter came up with. Because in the comics, or in the movies, and even sometimes in the movies, you'll see Spider-Man, Peter will say, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom! And then the person will just say, oh, wait, well, he'll say, I have to go to the bathroom because obviously he needs to change into Spider-Man because there's crime going on. And then the other person will say, wait, but the bathroom is 5 blocks away. Oh, well, I'll run there. And then they'll say, well, the science fair starts in 5 minutes. Well, I'll run there as fast as I can. I'm a fast runner. And nobody ever buys into the dumb excuses that Peter is Spider-Man. But Alex was kind of a smart character. They made him a smart and intelligent supporting character who could actually, you know, you couldn't really fool him. Another thing I didn't really like was Gwen, they did get the same actress from the, from Dawn of Spider-Man, well, from the other, the Dawn of Spider-Man movies, which I liked, because I felt her acting was great, and I don't mean to sound perverted, but she's kind of hot. Yep. So, I'm glad they brought her back, but, Peter and Gwen's relationship was kind of, it was kind of forced. It was more so just like, hey, you wanna get together? It's like, okay, we just like, hey, want to go for a jog? Sure. Okay. I think I like you. I think I want to be in a relationship with you, because I just jogged with you, and I kind of realized that from just jogging with you. Okay, that sounds great. And also, we didn't really, they killed off Gwen, but Gwen's death was not as, it didn't have the impact it had in the comics. First of all, Eddie killed Gwen. Gwen was not killed by the Goblin. The Goblin is not in it. There's no mention to any of the Osborns, which is good, because that's one of the few fan films where they don't do that. But yeah, I did like its originality. I thought the cast did a great job. And, I'm excited to see what they do in the future, because they keep getting better as time goes on. So, I think you can probably expect near to perfection when, the Spider-Man saga comes out. So let me know in the comments section what fan films I should review next, and I'm out.